There we go, you got it. Yeah!
Mike Tyson just ripped off the Legend label and swapped it for Clown. And trust me, I'm not exaggerating. If you haven't heard yet, the man was caught partying with Jake Paul at Donald Trump's inauguration. Yes, that Jake Paul. The one he supposedly hated. Remember when he said,
I think I can handle this situation.
You gonna knock him out?
I think I'm gonna hurt him, yes.
And now, fans like us are left picking up the pieces of our shattered trust. These two spent the entire last year dangling a fake rivalry in front of us, playing with our emotions like puppeteers, only to pull this stunt. The clip of Jake lifting Tyson onto his shoulders like he's his gym bro, it broke the internet, and not in a good way. Tagging him best friend on Instagram? Oh, please. The betrayal runs deep, and honestly, the more I think about it, the more their motives stink. Tyson and Paul are officially declared scammers of the decades, and we fans are traumatized for life.
Some people claiming that it was rigged because many people bet a lot of money and they lost a lot of money.
What do you get when a boxing legend trades punches with a YouTube troll and they cap it off at a presidential circus hosted by Donald Trump? The biggest joke of the century, that's what. Mike Tyson, Jake Paul, and Trump in the same room feels less like a headline and more like the setup to a terrible joke nobody wants to hear.
Reason and one reason only, and that is the money. He's getting paid so much money to do this, so that tells me he's getting bought. So again, it is sad that someone like Mike Tyson...
Let's dissect this mess and figure out how Tyson and Paul turned the sweet science into a bad Netflix comedy. So, here's how it all began. A so-called boxing match between Tyson, who once struck fear into the hearts of opponents, and Jake Paul, a guy whose most dangerous weapon is his Wi-Fi connection. They squared off at AT&T Stadium in Dallas, a place that's seen real legends, and turned it into a reality TV set. The result? Paul, the walking YouTube comment section, somehow got a unanimous decision over Tyson, who spent more time looking confused than throwing punches. Yeah, sure, that seems totally legit.
Jake Paul, Mike Tyson fight.
Interesting.
Script.
How so? What do you mean by
It's just
script?
weird. It just...
Like
Mike-
scripted in what way?
No, I don't know. I actually really like Jake Paul. It just seems so... It's odd, bro.
The timing. It's a timing.
I mean,
He
it's
fights
obviously
two-
odd.
No, he fights two no-names, beats them both.
Tyson, bless his heart, entered the fight with some tough talk.
I think I can handle this situation.
You gonna knock him out?
I think I'm gonna hurt him, yes.
I'm going to hurt this young man. Bold words for someone who spent the match getting jabbed by a guy who built his career yelling into a camera about pranks. And Paul? He promised to knock out Tyson, because apparently delusion is his secret weapon. The whole thing felt like two middle school kids arguing in gym class, except this time, millions of dollars were at stake.
Well, X has spoken. The fight was scripted. Everyone is talking about this on X, and the script was actually leaked on X a few days ago.
Then came the weigh-in, the pinnacle of absurdity. Paul accidentally stepped on Tyson's foot, earning a slap so half-hearted it could have been choreographed by a high school drama teacher.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Tyson's legendary death stare made a cameo, but Paul's profanity-laced meltdown stole the spotlight. It was like watching a toddler throw a tantrum at Target. By the time the bell rang for the actual fight, everyone watching knew this wasn't about boxing. It was about who could pull off the best performance in this circus act.
he's an angry little elf. Mike Tyson, I thought that was a cute slap, buddy, but tomorrow you're getting knocked the f*** out. I'm f***ing him up, Burial. I'm f***ing him up. He hits like a It's personal now. It's personal now. He must die.
But wait, it gets worse. After this epic battle, where do these supposed mortal enemies head? To Trump's inauguration party, of course. Because nothing screams credible athlete like schmoozing at a political rally-turned-frat party. Tyson and Paul were spotted laughing it up, clinking glasses, and posing for Instagram like long-lost BFFs. The best part? a photo of Jake Paul lifting Tyson onto his shoulders like some kind of victorious gladiator. Tyson, fist raised, looked less like a heavyweight champion and more like a dad embarrassing himself at a family barbecue. And Paul, never one to miss an opportunity for clout, captioned the photo "Best Friends" and tagged Tyson. Of course, scripted fight generates best friends. Yeah, nothing says we just had a brutal fight like playing frat bros at a Washington shindig. It's almost impressive how quickly they went from "I hate you" to "let's hang out." The bad blood was faker than Paul's boxing credentials.
Icon, and it's just an honor to be able to fight him. And he's obviously the toughest, baddest man on the planet. So it was really tough, like I expected it to be.
Here's where it really stings. The fans, bless their hopeful hearts, bought into this nonsense. They believed the trash talk, the fake animosity, the scripted drama. And what did they get? A couple of millionaires laughing all the way to the bank. The heist of the century, they're calling it. And honestly, that feels generous. They should be best friends. They performed the classic heist. Tyson and Paul didn't just humiliate themselves, they spit in the face of boxing's integrity.
What is your assessment of Jake Paul, the boxer?
He's a very good fighter.
Do you think he deserves respect from the public?
Absolutely.
Hey, that was a good slap. I like that.
$60 million. That's how much the so-called Netflix boxing spectacle raked in, better known now as the $60 million heist. And calling it a heist doesn't even do it justice. Jake Paul, humanity's least requested experiment in boxing, walked away with a jaw-dropping $40 million. Meanwhile, Mike Tyson, the once unstoppable destroyer of the heavyweight division, settled for a measly $20 million. $60 million for what? A glorified sparring session wrapped in the guise of a sporting event. Fans have dubbed it the heist of the century. And honestly, for once, the internet nailed it.
I'm just fighting to take care of my bills, basically. I don't have the stomach for this kind of no more. I'm more conscious of my children and those guys looking at my parents. I don't have that ferocity. I'm not an animal anymore.
Does that mean we won't see you fight again?
Tyson and Paul didn't just sell tickets, they sold the dream. Tyson's larger-than-life reputation and Paul's knack for stirring up the internet combined into a marketing Frankenstein that could have sold ice to a polar bear. People flocked to their screens expecting blood, sweat, and the sweet satisfaction of Tyson teaching Paul a lesson. What they got instead was a weird blend of WWE theatrics and YouTube drama, with just enough boxing sprinkled in to legally call it a fight. And the backlash? It was glorious. Social media exploded with fans who felt like they'd been pickpocketed while smiling for the cameras. Comments like, "They played us for millions," and "rigged fight equals money and friendship" were the tame ones. Even the folks who illegally streamed the fight, yes, the ones who didn't pay a dime, felt scammed. When the freeloaders are mad, you know you've achieved a new level of con artistry. But don't worry, Jake Paul's glorified PR team, MVP Promotions, was ready with damage control. They released a statement saying, "Rigging a professional boxing match is a federal crime." Oh, fantastic. Because reminding people that rigging is illegal totally proves you didn't do it, right? That's like saying, "I can't be a thief. Stealing is against the law."
Foremost, Mike Tyson. It's such an honor. Let's give it up for Mike, bro. He's a legend. He's the greatest to ever do it.
And if you thought Jake Paul was going to take his ill-gotten millions and quietly fade into obscurity, think again. The guy's already plotting his next circus. He's got a shopping list of opponents that reads like a combat sports hall of fame. Floyd Mayweather Jr., Ryan Garcia, and even UFC powerhouse Alex Pereira. Yes, you heard that right. The guy who just spent 12 rounds avoiding punches from a 57-year-old thinks he's ready for the big leagues. Honestly, the audacity is impressive. Someone give this man a trophy for most delusional athlete of the decade.
different thing, man. It's a different thing with that guy.
Well, it's like Matt always says, play to your strengths.
Yeah,
no
but you
doubt.
know, you got to take that payday. I mean, what did he make out of that fight? He probably made $10 million or something.
Yeah.
And Jake Paul's very smart, man. Like he gets guys that he's
Bigger
bigger
than,
the only
younger
time
than.
he fought another boxer his size was
He
Tom
lost.
Fury, and he lost. Tom Fury?
Good
Yeah.
fight.
Tommy Fury.
Very
Tommy
good
Fury.
fight. Very good fight. You know, I think he's like any other young up-and-coming boxer. It's just everybody dismisses him because he's a YouTuber.
But let's not overlook the sheer comedic genius of Paul's antics. This is the same guy who turned stepping on Tyson's foot into a viral moment. The same guy who slapped a boxing legend like he was auditioning for a soap opera. Maybe next he'll challenge a bear to a fight or take on a squirrel in a backyard showdown. Jake Paul doesn't do boxing, he does performance art. It's a circus, and we're all guilty of buying tickets to the freak show.
There we go, you got it. Yeah!
And then there's Mike Tyson. Oh, Mike. The baddest man on the planet has officially completed his transformation into a walking punchline. This is the same guy who once struck fear into the hearts of every heavyweight alive, now reduced to playing Jake Paul's sidekick. From biting ears to cashing checks for rigged fights, Tyson's career arc has gone from legendary to laughable. Sharing a buddy-buddy moment with Paul at a party after their so-called fight, that's just the final nail in the coffin of his credibility. If this was supposed to be his comeback, it's time to bow out gracefully, or at least delete Instagram. So here's the big question. Was it worth it? Was $60 million enough to justify turning boxing into a meme? For Tyson and Paul, the answer is clearly yes. For the fans, though, let's just say it's going to take a lot more than a legal disclaimer to erase the taste of this scam. This wasn't a fight. It was a financial mugging with a referee. And Tyson and Paul, they weren't opponents. They were partners in crime. The only people who got knocked out were the ones who believed this was ever about boxing. Imagine being a die-hard Tyson fan, tuning in to see the legend reclaim some glory, only to watch him get outmaneuvered by a guy whose biggest accomplishment is convincing people he can fight. And let's not forget Paul's fans, the ones who actually think this guy is revolutionizing the sport. Newsflash, he's not. He's just turning it into another cash grab, complete with Instagram captions and viral sound bites.